Hello, and welcome to our presentation on our Sahara and Community Project trip taking place in March 2024. A little bit about our health and safety assurance. So your health and safety is our top priority, so please rest assured that we take steps to ensure you not only have a memorable experience, but a safe one too. We constantly monitor and follow the advice of the FCDO, who provides recommendations and advice to British travellers about travel to a certain destination. Health and safety is our top priority, so we will never operate a trip in an area where there is a clear and present risk to our team members, whether that is due to a health outbreak, political instability, natural disasters, or anything else. If travel restrictions either in the UK or Morocco prevent safe travel, we will look at either postpone or cancel your trip at no cost to you. But please note, at the time of travel, there may be enhanced safety and security measures in airports, bag drop may take longer, and you may need to provide a certificate of health or proof of vaccination. We will inform you about any information pertinent to your travel arrangements. So going on to a bit more about the trek. So you will walk approximately 50 kilometres across the Moroccan Sahara. You'll enjoy the buzz of Marrakesh, and you'll support the local community by helping at a project. Best of all, return flights, meals, accommodation are all included in the cost. So Sahara comes from the Arabic word for deserts. It's the largest dry desert on the planet and it is vast. It's the third largest overall after Antarctica and the Arctic, and almost as large as the United States or China. And it's about 3,000 miles wide. And you'll see on the top left-hand screen just how vast it actually covers. And then the bottom right-hand side is your trek area and where that looks. So the climate and conditions. So in the Moroccan Sahara, the average daytime temperature is between 20 to 30 degrees. You will need a high factor sunscreen. 30 plus is ideal, even for those of you who might have dark skins. And sun hats with a brim and/or an umbrella or a parasol are absolutely vital. Nights can drop down to as low as 0 to 7 degrees Celsius. So as soon as the sun goes down, it can get quite cold. There are no street lights in the area to help keep the warmth up. Your accommodation. So you will spend 4 nights in hotels, either in Marrakesh or Ouarzazate, depending on your flight schedules, and 3 nights camping in a tent or under the stars, which we thoroughly recommend. You will need to bring a sleeping bag and a sleeping bag liner, but a tent and sleeping mats will be provided for you. There's a picture of one of our camps on one of our previous treks. The meals. We love our food at Different Travel. So your meals on a trek are prepared by a local cook who accompanies you throughout the journey. All meals are healthy, nourishing, filling, and really tasty, and not too spicy for those of you who don't like too much spice. And there is always plenty to satisfy a hungry trekker. All water that's used will be for cooking and consumption will be boiled. And you will be provided with at least 3 litres of water for you on a trek each day. Toilet facilities. Always a conversation out on one of our trips, especially the Sahara. So you will see our picture on just the left-hand side here. That is what a toilet will look like. So tents will be erected to cover holes dug into the sand where you do your business. You should bring your own toilet paper, but there is no running water to wash your hands, so hand sanitizer is essential. And depending on the amount of trekkers on a trip, there'll be one or two tents to cover everybody. Your daily routine. So we'll just take a run through the pictures. So the top left-hand side here, your view from your tent. Followed by, to the right of that, tea features very highly on our trips. The Moroccan mint tea is absolutely lovely. It's always readily available at each meal time. So you will either sit round rugs outside in the desert, or you'll sit in the sort of like the food hall, as you like, in the tent just at the far back there. But more often than not, it'll be round rugs out in the desert there. So then you'll start your trek. You'll be trekking for some distance in the morning before you stop for lunch, which is usually a mixture of salads and courgettes. There could be a stew, bread always features highly, and again your Moroccan tea. So lunch, depending on the weather, because it can get quite hot in the desert, as you can imagine. So we take a longer time over lunch. So there's a chance you have a bit of a rest, have a bit of a nap if you want to, before you head on and head off to your camp, followed by tea in the evening, and then to get to see a beautiful sunset. And again, food of an evening is usually in the food tent. So you'll sit around rugs. So you will sit on the ground, but you'll have I don't think you can really see very well there. So the mattresses that you're provided, these double up as used as a seating area in the food tent. So you get to sit on something slightly comfortable anyway. If the weather's not too bad, if it's not very windy, there'll be a chance for you to watch breads being baked in the sand, as you can see in the top right-hand slide here. It's always well worth watching that. It's very good. It's very good to watch that. And then you do get to taste the bread afterwards, and you'll be amazed to hear that it doesn't really taste of sand at all, considering how it's been cooked. And then bottom left-hand side here, just eating again. One of our guys in the centre here showing you the bread that's made. And then just on the bottom right-hand side here is a picture in the darkness of where the bread's being cooked in the sand. And it usually does happen, to be fair, when the sun's gone down, it's dark, you've got the stars above you, and you'll get to see the bread being cooked in the sand. Night sky. Okay, so we'll start taking you through the itinerary. So day one, which is Saturday the 9th of March, you'll fly from the UK to Marrakesh. So you'll fly together to Marrakesh, where you'll be met by your guide and will transfer to a central hotel for the night. This will depend on your flight arrival times. So if there's time, we will start the journey halfway to the desert and stay in Ouarzazate instead, which is about a 4 to 5 hour drive time. If the flight doesn't land till really late, sometimes flights don't get into about 9:30. And by the time you've got through customs, it can be a good hour and a half later. So you'll spend the night in Marrakesh instead and start the journey the following day. To day two. So depending on where we're going to be starting from. So if staying in Marrakesh, we'll set off quite early, crossing the Atlas Mountains and following ancient caravan routes into the arid Sahara Desert. And we'll stop for lunch in Ouarzazate on the way. It's about a 9-hour journey time, which includes stops. There are some roadworks going on along the route at the moment, so that's just slowed things down slightly. We'll, due to driver regulations, we'll stop every couple of hours, for like 15 minutes, half an hour, and you'll have a longer stop for lunch. And if we do start in Ouarzazate, the journey time will be about 4 to 5 hours. And then in the afternoon, we'll arrive in the desert and we'll commence our trek into the Sahara, and we'll stop overnight to camp under the stars of the Sahara. So you'll trek approximately 5 kilometers, might be slightly less than that. So the camels are your porters, and they will become part of your experience. You may see some other creatures as well: snakes, scorpions, spiders, desert foxes, and other creatures. It's not unknown to see them, but they will avoid the campsite, as they are going to be more scared of you than you are of them. So you really don't need to worry about anything like that. So days 3 and 4 will be spent in the desert. So you'll trek continuously for 2 further days, covering around about 20 kilometers per day. Could be slightly less than that. Again, it will really depend on the heat and how the group are I was sort of reacting to that, and how what your pace is like. So you'll trek through varied landscape. It's not all sand, and you will learn the importance of respecting the forces of nature in the desert. The temperature can be very high, up to about 37 degrees, which adds a unique challenge in itself. Sand dune fields are tiring, as every step forwards is half a step back, but it's so worth it for the views that you'll see. So we will cover on average 15 to 20 kilometres per day, but like I say, it will vary. And as the trek progresses, we learn how the nomadic people of the Sahara live, from cooking to sleeping out under the stars and reading the Sahara night sky. But just on this slide here, you will see some of the ground that you're likely to cover. So there'll be dune fields. The ground, it will be cracked because there's not, I know I did the Sahara last year in 2022, and there's had no rain at all. So the ground is really dry. We have put down the bottom left river crossings. Maybe, it's probably not likely, but you never know, you might see some. And there will also be some stony hard grounds that you'll cover. So it's not going to be all sand dunes. You will see some stony hard ground as well. And what does surprise some people when I've been on this trip myself is people are surprised that you do get to see trees in the desert. So it's not unknown. So don't be surprised that you might actually see some trees while you're out walking as well. So day 3, we'll transfer back to Marrakesh. So we'll start the final part of the trek with a short walk from camp to the small village of Ouladris, where you will say goodbye to your team of camels and the local Berbers who have been with you along your journey. And we'll head back to Marrakesh. This will be a long drive because we'll go straight from Ouladris to Marrakesh. So it's about 8 to 9 hours driving. And again, we will stop for breaks throughout. So day 6 to 7. So this is where we'll take part in the project in Marrakesh. So you'll spend the next 2 days helping on a range of tasks at a project in Marrakesh, such as a hospice, home for the elderly, or a shelter and education centre for vulnerable children and adults, which could include renovating, redecoration, gardening, painting, or other tasks. It's very likely that we will be at a project which it is a home for the elderly, but also it's a home for street children as well. So the street children, they'll be taken off the streets and they'll be taught skills that will enable them to develop a career later in life as they reach the age of 18. I did this project myself last year, and I'm going back again later this year, and it's very awe-inspiring. It's it's very humbling. You get to meet all these people and all these sort of like the volunteers that sort of like run the project. It's it's a very humbling experience. So if you're looking to go on a project, I would really recommend it for you. Okay, just this was part of a team last year who did some painting work. And then this is another team that I went with last year, and we did some gardening work, and we did some painting as well. Doing some painting. Okay, so then on Saturday, so this is day 8. This is your last time. This is your last day. So you'll get to enjoy some. Well, depending on the flight times, you'll get to enjoy some free time in Marrakesh before you depart the hotel for the transfer to the airport in time for the flight back. With regards to Marrakesh as well, whilst you're at the community project, you'll get a chance in the evenings. Since the evenings will be your own. So you can either go out as a group or go out in pairs. Wouldn't recommend going out on your own, but you can get to explore Marrakesh at night. Thoroughly recommend it. It would be very well worth you doing it, to see all the lights and the sounds and going through all the souks. But then, like I say, Saturday you should have some extra time where you can spend a longer amount of time just exploring the Medinas and the square. Extensions to your stay are possible on request. So if you are looking, you might like to spend an extra couple of days in Marrakesh, do let us know because we can help to arrange that for you. So some frequently asked questions. So communication. There may be some phone signal and data, even in the desert, but this isn't guaranteed. Wi-Fi is available in the hotels, but it may be slow and unreliable and not like we're used to back home. Travel insurance, you must arrange this yourself. We won't do this for you, but we can put you in touch with a company that we use and we recommend. Footwear, trainers are not suitable for this trip. You can use them for the project, but for the trekking, you will need boots, and you must make sure that they're worn in before you take part on a trip. Age limit. So the minimum age is 18. However, if you're accompanied by a parent or guardian, you can be 16 or 17. There is no upper age limit. So you've got a medical problem, can you take part? You must see your GP for consultation. All medical conditions must be declared and if necessary, a medical form signed by your GP. We do have a team that look at medical forms on the sign up and they will highlight to us if they think there might be an issue or they may get in touch with you just for some further information. It's highly unlikely you'll be told that you can't go, but we will just need reassurance from your GP that everything is okay and that you will be able to manage this. How challenging is it? So this trek is graded as moderately challenging for someone of a good fitness level. And there are a number of factors which can make the trip challenging. So you will be carrying your own day pack each day, which will weigh around 6 to 8 kilometers, but the camels will carry the rest of your luggage. It's not just sand, as I mentioned in a previous slide. The terrain is a mix of hard, flat, sun-dried plains, dried up ancient riverbeds, windy sand dune fields, and hard, rocky outcrops. The climate, you can expect some very hot days and some cold nights. As soon as that sun drops, it does get very cold and the sand drops cold very quickly. During the trek, you will be camping with very basic facilities. And you will be trekking for 2 half days and full days, covering distances from 5 kilometers up to 20 kilometers per day. Please do not underestimate the importance of your training. The more training you do, the more familiar your body will be in recovery after a long day's trekking, so you can start each day rested and prepared. But you must take responsibility for coming to Morocco as fit as you can be. How should you train? Well, quite simply, just start walking. If you're not a regular walker, start walking with short distances. Then as you get more comfortable, increase your mileage and add in more challenging terrain until you can comfortably walk for several consecutive days on hilly terrain and a heavy backpack. Hill walking with a backpack should feature highly in your training to prepare your body. 5 kilometers in the UK is very different to 5 kilometers in the desert. Other activities which can complement but not replace include hill walking, including running, cycling, gym workouts, boot camps, etc. Building up your core and leg muscle strength is important, so exercises such as squats, lunges, push-ups, planks, and crunches will really enhance your training. These exercises can be done, so no gym is needed. But in terms of a gym as well, if you live in an area, maybe that I live in East Anglia, so hills around my area, they're very hit and miss. We don't have much around here. So we've got a gym that has a Stairmaster in. So if you do have a gym near you that's got a Stairmaster, that will really help. It will really help to build up your leg strength as well. But you should take your training seriously and arrive as fit as you can be so you can get the most out of the challenge. So who is right for this challenge? Anybody, somebody who's looking to kickstart a healthier lifestyle, someone who's embarking on a new career, someone who loves a bit of luxury and is looking forward to sort of like slumming it a bit, someone who's up for a laugh, young couple, dad with grown-up children, someone who's dedicated to a charity and they want to fundraise for them. Anybody is absolutely suitable for this trek. So how much does it cost? So a £395 registration fee is payable at the time of booking, and then you can choose one of the following options. So you can self-fund, so you'll pay your own tour costs of £995, And then you're welcome to fundraise separately for a charity of your choice, but you don't have to. But any fundraising undertaking cannot be used for your trip costs. You could go for the sponsorship option. So you can fundraise £1,990 for your chosen charity. And this includes your £995 tour cost balance and a £995 donation to charity. Then we also have Reflexity option, so you can pay your own tour cost balance of £995 and then commit to fundraise £995 for a charity of your choice. And as I said earlier, there is an opportunity to extend your stay after this trip to explore the sights of Marrakesh in your own time, so please contact us for those costs. So what support will you get? So if you do fundraise for a charity, we will put you in touch with their team and they will support you throughout the challenge with your fundraising. You will be provided with a kit list, a full dossier, training guide, discount vouchers and more. And you will be accompanied by a first aid trained tour manager and professional local guides. And there'll also be a chance for you to join a pre-departure meeting with your teammates and different travel. And this is likely to be online because we would anticipate that people from all over the country would come along to sign up for this trek. So how do you sign up? So there's the link. So if you just go onto our website, go onto all trips and then just do a search for the Sahara, then this will come up. And then click book now. Stunning picture of the sunset. So I hope that's helped. If you do have any questions, you can contact us anytime by email on info@different-travel.com, or you can give us a call on 02381 449 447. So I hope this has been really helpful for you, and I hope that has answered any questions that you may have had. And we look forward to welcoming you on this trip. Thank you very much for listening.